Buenos dias, chicos. Now we're going to talk about the present perfect in Spanish, which is a very easy tense to learn, especially if you already know the past participles. First, you should review the past participle forms, which are used in forming this tense. Especially the irregulars are important because they're used all the time. For the past participle, AR verbs just add ADO in the past participle, and ER and IR verbs add IDO. And there are some irregulars to remember, like abrir, abierto. Go ahead and pronounce after me just to try to remember them. Abierto, dicho, hecho, muerto, puesto, roto, visto, vuelto. The present perfect tense in English combines the verbs have or has with the past participle, as in, I have studied. So the tense is composed of two words, have studied. You have learned. The present perfect there is have learned. Has tried. He has tried. We have written. They have opened. Present perfect, two verb forms together, have or has in English with the past participle. In Spanish, we do essentially the same thing. The verb to have is a helping verb here, not the main verb, and must be combined with the past participle to form the complete tense. In Spanish, the to have is a very simple don't ever pronounce the H, for yo, as, a, for he or she or usted. And nosotros hemos, vosotros habéis, which we will not use much in class, han. So the have or has in Spanish is simply has, a, hemos, han. Examples. In English and in Spanish, I have learned becomes he aprendido. The past participle for aprender, ER verb, IDO, he aprendido, have learned, I have learned. And you can use the yo, or you don't have to in Spanish, because we know that the a refers to yo. You have studied, tú has estudiado. Has estudiado is the present perfect tense, and of course, again, you know, you don't really need the to. You can use it, or you might not, depending. He or she has left would be ha salido. Él ha salido. Ella ha salido. We could also use usted in this case. Usted ha salido. We have finished. Nosotros hemos terminado. Hemos terminado. They have eaten. Han comido. Or ellos han comido. Notice I've dropped off the ellos there. It's the same in Spanish anyway. We know that refers to the third plural form of the verb, han comido. That is all there is to the present perfect tense, essentially. Remember these other points. Never split up the two verb forms with any pronouns. Pronouns will be placed before the verb haber, as in this example. ¿Has comido la ensalada? Sí, la he comido. La he comido. The la goes before the verb haber. In this case, the form is he. Never split up he comido. Always put pronouns, or a no in this case too, before the verb haber. Also remember that the past participle never changes its form in the present perfect. It is always an o on the past participle. Past participles as adjectives can change their form, but that's not the case with the present perfect. He escrito la composición. I have written the composition. Escrito would never change its form to an a. In this case, it is not an adjective. But if you make it la composición está escrita, in that case, the escrita is a adjective for la composición, therefore feminine. Now for a little practice. Try to translate these short sentences using the present perfect, and I will pause after showing you the English to give you time to repeat out loud in Spanish. And then I'll show you the correct answer in Spanish. Let's begin. I have eaten. Yo he comido. Repeat. He comido. Tú has estudiado. Repite. Has estudiado. Ella ha jugado. Ha jugado. Nosotros hemos aprendido. Hemos aprendido. Ellos han bailado. Han bailado. Now with a reflexive verb, remember the reflexive pronouns are placed before the verb haber in the present perfect. Example, me he levantado. Te has bañado. The me and the te go before the verb forms, which can never be split up. Try this. I have washed. Me he lavado. Me he lavado. Te has levantado. Te has levantado. Also, the direct object pronouns, the pronoun is placed before the verb haber always, as in they have eaten it, it referring to the salad, la ensalada, would be ellos la han comido. La han comido. Try answering a few of these questions with problems, okay, with pronouns. Example, ¿has terminado la tarea? Sí, la he terminado. ¿Has escrito la composición? Sí, la he escrito. La he escrito. ¿Han hecho ustedes las camas? Answer with a negative. Remember to put the no before the pronouns. No, no las hemos hecho. No las hemos hecho. The no goes before the las, the direct object pronoun, right before the verb haber, and your verb form hemos hecho. Las hemos hecho. With a negative, no las hemos hecho. ¿Ha comido Paco mucha comida mala? Sí, él la ha comido. Él la ha comido. This is always the order the pronouns will go in. Felicitaciones. I think you've got it. The present perfect tense is one of the easiest.